Soft carpets, warm lamplight, and the quiet order of a Tennessee morning frame the life of Dolly Parton at 80. A songwriter, performer, and storyteller whose voice reshaped American music for decades. Shelves hold memories before trophies. Closets reveal color, care, and a stage identity refined by discipline, not impulse. From private rooms filled with faith and family history to public spaces that grew into theaters, libraries, and hometown landmarks, her lifestyle unfolds as a natural extension of a career built on work ethic and heart. Success surrounds her, yet it is carefully arranged, never loud, never careless. Tennessee is not a backdrop to her life, it is the foundation. In today's video, we explore how Dolly Parton built a life of comfort without losing humility, how her wealth was guided by restraint, and how a woman shaped a lasting legacy. The story does not begin with a star, but with a very small life, where circumstances came before talent and resilience had to appear long before dreams. In the quiet stretch of the mountains of Sevier County, Tennessee, Dolly Parton was born in 1946 with no sign that a remarkable future lay ahead. She grew up in a family of 12 children, in a life centered around her father's tobacco fields and the old folk songs her mother sang each day. Money was always scarce, but music was never absent. Dolly once recalled that the doctor who delivered her was paid not in cash, but with a sack of oatmeal, a small memory that captured the weight of an entire era of poverty. That environment shaped her early, teaching her to value every small thing and to understand that every word and every note had to carry real meaning, because in a life defined by lack, there was no room for excess. Church became her first stage. The hymns, the harmonies, the echo of voices rising together planted something permanent in her. By age 9, she was already stepping beyond those walls, appearing on the Cass Walker Show, her voice carrying far beyond the mountains that raised her. She recorded early songs with a small label, learning fast that talent alone did not guarantee control. When she graduated high school in 1964, she did not wait. She packed her ambition and moved to Nashville the very next day. That decision drew a straight line from survival to strategy. In Nashville, she learned the business before it learned her. She wrote constantly, often with her uncle Bill Owens, placing songs on the charts even before her face was widely known. At 19, she signed with Monument Records, where executives tried to reshape her into a polished pop singer. The records failed. That failure mattered. It forced the industry to confront what she already knew. Her power lived in country music, in stories drawn from lived experience. When her voice finally returned home, the charts followed. Her first country hits opened the door, but television widened it. In 1967, she joined the Porter Wagoner Show, standing beside Porter Wagoner under bright studio lights. The partnership made her famous, but it also complicated her freedom. Wagoner believed in her enough to invest in her publishing, tying their futures together. For years, they recorded, toured, and climbed the charts as a duo. Yet while the audience saw harmony, behind the scenes, Dolly felt her solo voice struggling to breathe. The tension reached its breaking point in 1973, when she wrote Jolene. The song was lean, urgent, and unforgettable. It became a global success and announced that her songwriting could stand alone anywhere in the world. Around the same time, she wrote something quieter, but far more decisive. I Will Always Love You was not a romance. It was a goodbye. She wrote it to end her partnership with Wagoner without bitterness. When Elvis Presley showed interest, she faced a moment that would define her wealth for decades. His management demanded half the publishing rights. Dolly said no. She chose ownership over exposure. That single refusal became one of the most important financial decisions of her life. The song reached #1 in country music twice under her own voice. Years later, it would explode across the world through Whitney Houston in the film The Bodyguard, selected by Kevin Costner after Clive Davis pushed for a defining musical moment. That version sold over 20 million copies. Because Dolly kept her rights, the song transformed from a farewell into a financial cornerstone that funded everything she would later build. As the 1970s closed, she refused to stay contained. She crossed into pop music, produced her own albums, hosted television shows, and stepped into film. In 1980, 9 to 5 placed her alongside Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin. Dolly wrote and performed the title song herself. It earned major awards and confirmed that her voice could move effortlessly between mediums without losing authenticity. Each expansion was intentional. Music funded film. Film expanded influence. Influence protected independence. Later performances in the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas and Steel Magnolias confirmed that her presence on screen was as natural and convincing as her voice in music, firmly establishing her as a multifaceted artist rather than only a singer. By the time her career reached its later chapters, Dolly Parton no longer chased success. She directed it. Every song, every shift in genre, and every calculated decision strengthened her control and extended her relevance. She proved that true longevity is built not only on talent, but on ownership, instinct, and the courage to protect one's voice. That same instinct for control and quiet permanence eventually guided her back to Tennessee, where her success took physical shape in the land she chose to live on and protect. Tennessee Estate, where peace is built from a lifetime of choices. Dolly Parton's Tennessee Estate is a space designed for retreat, and its scale reflects comfort rather than excess. Located in Brentwood, Williamson County, Tennessee, the property spans approximately 63 acres of private land, offering seclusion that is rare even in one of the state's most prestigious residential areas. The main residence measures around 3,324 square feet, a surprisingly restrained size given her global stature. The house includes 6 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms, arranged to prioritize privacy, flow, and long-term living. Additional structures on the estate include guest houses, garden pavilions, and utility buildings that support daily life without drawing attention to themselves. Outdoor amenities are spread discreetly across the grounds. The estate features a private swimming pool, a full-size tennis court, multiple gazebos, landscaped gardens, and open green areas that function more like countryside than curated luxury. Inside, the entryway glows with warm yellow tones as natural light settles gently across pale walls. The layout is disciplined and intentional, every object present for a reason. The white traditional kitchen serves as the heart of the home, anchored by a marble island kept uncluttered and functional. The dining room carries a strong country spirit, with painted cabinets displaying antique plates and a central wooden table built for long, unhurried gatherings. The living areas continue in soft beige tones, warmed by subtle gold accents, glass candles, and carefully placed personal symbols. The atmosphere feels familiar and lived in, like a home shaped slowly over many years. The music room holds her professional legacy in quiet order. A piano rests near the window, surrounded by patterned rugs and floral curtains that soften the space. Photographs and awards are not elevated as trophies, but placed at eye level, woven naturally into the room. Elsewhere, Dolly allows a rare break from neutrality. A reading corner with palm-patterned wallpaper, a wicker chair beneath the window, and touches of turquoise introduce a playful note without overwhelming the home. The sunroom completes the rhythm of the house, styled in coastal shades of gray and white, where garden light flows inward and time seems to slow. Dolly Parton purchased the property in 1999 for approximately $400,000, long before Brentwood real estate reached its current level of prestige. Today, the estate is estimated to be worth over $5 million, a rise that reflects not only market growth, but also the foresight and long-term stability that have guided her decisions beyond music. In scale and spirit, the Tennessee estate mirrors its owner, expansive enough to protect privacy, restrained enough to remain deeply personal and carefully maintained to support a life built on control, continuity, and quiet permanence. From this private estate, the story moves back to an earlier Nashville home, where the same values of privacy and simplicity first took root. House in Nashville, Tennessee. The former home of Dolly Parton and Carl Dean at 3146 Glencliff Road in Nashville does not impress with luxury, but it leaves a strong impression through its sense of authenticity and quiet endurance over time. Built in 1941, the house sits on a 2.4-acre lot, tucked behind fencing and mature trees that create a complete separation from the city's busy rhythm. The stucco exterior carries a subtle Art Deco influence from the early 1940s, modest yet distinctive. The house feels like a retreat, where every detail serves privacy and everyday living. A covered porch opens onto a wide yard, ideal for simple outdoor gatherings under trees and soft sunlight. Inside, the 4,795-square-foot layout includes 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, designed with practicality rather than decoration in mind. A large carpeted living area with warm lighting and modest ceiling height is arranged to host multiple people comfortably, fitting for intimate gatherings and family events. The interior avoids trends, favoring familiarity and stability, giving the sense of a home meant to be lived in, not displayed. The kitchen is spacious, lined with wooden cabinets and simple countertops directly connected to the main living space. It reflects a home built for real life, where cooking, conversation, and shared time happen naturally. The bedrooms use warm tones and soft, natural light, understated but comfortable, clearly intended for rest and privacy. The bathrooms are generously sized and fully functional, prioritizing use over visual statement. The recreation room is the space that speaks most clearly about how the house was once used. Fully carpeted and finished with a moderately low ceiling, recessed lighting, and ceiling fans, it was designed to accommodate many people at once. A round table at the center suggests intimate gatherings, while rows of chairs along the wall indicate that it once hosted meetings, guests, or full family get-togethers. At the far end, a pool table, sound system, and entertainment corner show that this was not a space meant only to be seen, but to be lived in, a place where people stayed, talked, laughed, and shared time together. Parton and Dean purchased the house in 1980 for $50,000. In later years, the property appeared on the market several times, and the most recent sale was completed in December 2021 for $849,000. Over the decades, this house never represented wealth. Instead, it clearly reflected Dolly Parton's personal choices during the peak of her career: privacy, stability, and a life centered on what happened away from public view. From this quiet home, the story now turns to the vehicles that carried her between public life and the private world she has always protected. Car collection. The Mercedes-Benz V-Class fits the quieter rhythm of her life, chosen for moments when privacy comes first. Instead of drawing attention, it creates distance from the noise outside, with a spacious, hushed interior that feels more like a private lounge than a vehicle. Valued above $90,000 depending on configuration, it carries her through crowded city streets with close friends or trusted staff nearby, conversations flowing easily as the city slips past the tinted windows. The experience is calm and steady, a sense of being protected without feeling removed. By contrast, the Cadillac Escalade carries a stronger presence. Its large silhouette and unmistakably American character suit days filled with movement between studios, events, and familiar places. Priced around $80,000 to $100,000 depending on year and trim, it often travels with family members or longtime collaborators, filling the cabin with shared history and quiet confidence. Inside, the feeling is solid and reassuring, as if the road itself becomes easier to face from such a commanding position. Together, these cars reflect a lifestyle built on balance, choosing privacy when she needs peace and strength when she needs presence. From here, we take a closer look at the vast assets and fortune she has built through decades of work and smart decisions. Income and net worth. Dolly Parton has an estimated net worth of about $650 million, and most of that fortune does not come from performance fees, but from ownership and publishing rights. The single biggest income source of her life comes from "I Will Always Love You." Dolly never sold the song. She kept full publishing control. When Whitney Houston recorded it for The Bodyguard, the royalties alone generated around $20 million after inflation. Even today, every radio play and every album sale continues to pay her. With more than 3,000 songs written and over 100 million records sold, Dolly earns long-term income from her music catalog, averaging about $0.08 per radio play and $2 per album sold. This is money that has flowed steadily for decades. Beyond music, Dolly Parton is a disciplined businesswoman. She co-founded Dollywood, a Tennessee theme park that attracts around 3 million visitors each year and generates an estimated $150 million to $200 million annually from tickets, hotels, merchandise, food, branding, and licensing. Alongside that, Dolly Parton earned approximately $30 million from film acting salaries during her peak movie years and continues to receive around $5 million to $7 million per year from television production deals and tightly controlled image licensing, creating steady income while protecting the long-term value of her name. That wealth supports a life built on choice. Dolly Parton owns a 60-acre estate in Tennessee, lives largely out of the public spotlight, and structures her assets around long-term control. For Dolly Parton, money is not about excess. It is about ownership, independence, and the freedom to decide how her life and work are shaped entirely on her own terms. Dolly Parton's financial independence allowed her to look beyond herself, using everything she built as a foundation to give back to the community. Philanthropy. In 1995, Dolly Parton launched Imagination Library in honor of her father, promising that every child would receive one free book each month from birth to age 5. She committed hundreds of millions of dollars to the program, which has since delivered more than 200 million books worldwide, turning simple mail deliveries into moments of pride and hope for families. When wildfires destroyed Gatlinburg, Tennessee in 2016, she responded immediately by creating the My People Fund, pledging $9 million to help families rebuild their lives after losing their homes. During the global health crisis, she quietly donated $1 million to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, supporting early research that helped move a life-saving vaccine forward. Her philanthropy reflects who Dolly Parton truly is: generous, grounded, and deeply loyal to her roots. That same spirit is also reflected in her personal life, where simplicity, privacy, and long-held values continue to shape how she lives today. Personal life. Dolly Parton is living a quieter, more reflective chapter of her life today, shaped by love, memory, and long-held values. After being married since 1966, she lost her husband, Carl Thomas Dean, on March 3, 2025, at the age of 82. His passing marked the end of a 58-year partnership that was deeply private and steadfast, enduring. Carl chose a life away from fame, running his asphalt paving business in Nashville and rarely appearing in public. Dolly has often shared that he watched her perform live only one time in their entire marriage, a detail that says much about how firmly he guarded their personal world. In recent months, Dolly has leaned into family and close relationships rather than public appearances. Although she never had biological children, family has always been central to her life. She helped raise several of her younger siblings and remains closely involved with her nieces and nephews, offering guidance, support, and stability. She also continues her role as godmother to Miley Cyrus, maintaining a bond that feels more like chosen family than obligation. Her days now are structured around creative routines and familiar surroundings. She still writes music regularly, often late at night, and spends time developing projects connected to her legacy, from storytelling ideas to charitable planning. Travel is limited and purposeful, usually tied to work or family, as she prefers the comfort and privacy of home over constant movement. This current phase of Dolly Parton's personal life is defined less by public celebration and more by inner balance. It is a life rooted in loyalty, privacy, and emotional resilience, where love for family and creative purpose continue to guide her forward, quietly, and on her own terms. If this story about Dolly Parton connected with you, remember to like, subscribe, and share so more people can discover the quieter side of her life.